Well, if you live in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. It's a good day to be thinking about things we are thankful for. And most of us, of course, are not thankful for multiple sclerosis, but surely there are other things to be thankful for. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of You and Me and Multiple Sclerosis. And this is a special one. I normally post on Tuesdays, but I'm posting today because it's Thanksgiving Day. And I wanted to share with you something that I have done from time to time, not every single year, but I like to sit down and think about the things that I am grateful for. And I like to use the letters of the alphabet to do that. So I take a piece of paper and I write A through Z, and then I go through each letter and I think about something that starts with that letter that I'm thankful for. And as you might guess, when I get to M, and multiple sclerosis is not going on that list. But if you need an incentive, here's one. Gratitude is good for you. Look at all these articles. I'm going to link this page below, but you can see gratitude is good for your physical and your mental health. Well, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I'm thankful for, A, Amazon. I'm thankful for Amazon, and that represents not just Amazon, but all of the online outlets for shopping. You can get anything online these days, from groceries to clothing to music to anything you're looking for. And that's been very helpful for me because I don't drive and I live in a small rural town. I don't get out a lot and there's not much here even if I did get out. So Amazon and your cousins, thank you very much. And as for B, I'm going to have to say benefits. What's allowed me to live comfortably these last years since I had to quit working, I was only in my 40s. So without the long-term disability benefits that my employer provided, it would have been very difficult for me to make a go of it. But I will say that I'm very blessed to have had the long-term disability benefits all these years. I'm going to turn 64 in January. I have one more year before I qualify for my pension, which I'm also very blessed to have. I realize not everybody nowadays has a pension. And letter C, okay, I'm going to be thankful for my cane. It's not something I use all the time, but when I need it, it is there. And it often gets taken for granted or even looked at as something that we don't really want to think about because it reminds us of our disability or it signals to the world that we're disabled. But it's time that we show it some gratitude because it certainly has helped me to go places where I was a little nervous to go, either because of the terrain or because I would have to stand for such a long time. The cane has really helped me, so I am grateful for my cane. Now on the letter D, I'm going to say doctors. Not every doctor, of course, but I can name a few that over the years have made a big difference in my life. As I've said before, I was very, very fortunate to have had the opportunity to have Dr. Swank as my neurologist for a few years, and that was a wonderful experience. When I had cancer, I was very blessed there too. My GP is the one who even found it, so I'm grateful to Dr. Markle for finding something in my abdomen that did not seem right to him and sending me off to get that CAT scan that changed everything and enabled me to get the surgery. And now thank Dr. Billingsley for that because he was the one who performed the surgery. And while it was very extensive, it probably saved my life. Those doctors will always be important to me. And then, of course, I have learned to really admire and respect some of the doctors that I follow on YouTube. Dr. Gavin Giovannoni, I think I've mentioned him 1,000 times already. But also Dr. Aaron Boster and Dr. Brandon Bieber, Dr. Gretchen Hawley, the physical therapist. There are a number of them. And where would we be without these doctors? Eyes and ears, letter E. Yes, definitely. I'm so grateful. Okay, my vision isn't everything it used to be, everything that I might have wanted it to be. but it's there, and I can still see well enough to enjoy the world around me. And ears, oh my goodness, if I couldn't hear, I couldn't hear other people's voices. I couldn't hear music. So I'm very grateful. Okay, letter F, friends and family. Good thing they both start with F, because then I can just cover them all at once. But I'll tell you what would I be without them? And also, they're wonderful people in and of their own right. I don't want to imply that I only love them because of what they do for me. I love them for themselves. They brought so much joy to my life, and I wouldn't be without them for anything. And then G, my generally good health. We've talked about that on the channel a lot. That MS isn't something that we can get rid of necessarily, but that if we keep our general health as good as we possibly can, the symptoms of MS will just not be able to make our lives even more miserable than they're going to anyway. And I have been very blessed that my health is pretty darn good in general. When I was doing the clinical trial up in Portland last summer, the doctor who gave me a very thorough physical exam and asked me a lot of questions paused and said, if it weren't for MS, your health would be really good. And I agreed with her. I said, yes, thank you for saying that, because I've often felt that, and I'm very thankful. Okay, H, husband. Well, of course. I could have put him under friends and family, but he deserves his own mention. My husband, Al, is a wonderful man, and he has taken such good care of me and our life together. I don't know where I would be without him. I could go on all day about how special he is to me, but you know how that can be. And under I, well, the internet. Here we sit, talking only because of the internet. If I didn't have it, and if you didn't have it, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I've used the internet for so many things, looking up things, staying in touch with people. The list could be endless. So without the internet, my life would definitely be poorer. And so I'm very grateful for it. And then J, well, J is always, every time I do this, J is for Jesus. While I have MS and that isn't going to go away, Jesus gives me hope and encouragement and the joy of knowing that I can trust him, that he won't change. K, kitchen. Okay, well, I could have used H for home because I love my home just in general, but I'll just focus on the kitchen because it is so workable for me. And I do appreciate that because I do have limitations. And I appreciate that the kitchen makes it easier for me to just take care of getting simple meals together, putting dishes away, getting things out, storing things that I want. The people who had the house before us remodeled the kitchen and added quite a bit more cabinetry and extensive counters. So even though it's a small house, not even 800 square feet, and the kitchen is an eat-in kitchen, it's very spacious for what we need. Letter L, life. And I hope all of you are also grateful for life. It's worth living, even if it isn't what it was when we were in our 20s or when we were kids or whatever. It's still worth living. We all are worthwhile people, and life is such a gift. And I never want to take it for granted, no matter how miserable I might feel on a given day. It's just better to be alive. I've never not felt that way. Letter M. All right, Medicare. Kind of a strange one to put there, but I thought about this. It was something that all the time I was working, I was paying into it without even really thinking about it. And now, magically, it seems, here it is. And I have been able to pay most of my doctor bills quite well, just out of Medicare. I appreciate that. I think a lot of people take it for granted because we're told that you have to get private insurance because Medicare is not good enough. But I've been on Medicare only for the past couple of years, and I really have done just fine. N, neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is that capacity of the brain to reroute signals. If one path doesn't work, it keeps trying until it finds another one. We need to give it a little help, but it's certainly willing to do its part. And I would say neuroplasticity has worked a great deal behind the scenes to make my life better than it would have been otherwise. And I'm very thankful for that. And now, Oregon Health and Science University, they did my cancer surgery there, and I have my neurology done there, and I have my imaging done there. I am so grateful that I live within driving distance of a major research hospital with top-notch physicians and state-of-the-art equipment. It's just good to know that you can live in a rural small town but still have access to something as world-class as OHSU. P, my photo frame. I've been working a lot on that. I've been scanning all of the photos that I had collected in photo albums and different places, and I've been loading them onto my photo frame. I've got hundreds of them on there now, and so it rotates around in kind of a shuffle play, but even if it wasn't on shuffle, I don't think I'd ever remember the order that things would be in because there's so many. But it's wonderful to look at all the memories and remembering all those great times that we had together, my friends and I, my family and I, my pets, places that I've lived, cars that I've driven. It's just so fun to relive that. Sometimes I just like to sit there with my tea and watch the pictures go around. And then Q, quiet mornings. I don't know about you, I am a morning person. My husband is not particularly, and that works out well because I get up early in the morning and I'm up for a couple of hours before I bring him his coffee. And so I get a chance to just enjoy the quiet of the morning. Then R is for reading. Reading is such a gift. Words are a gift. The ability for me to read the thoughts of someone who's been dead for hundreds or thousands of years. Isn't that an amazing gift? And then S, subscribers. I recently passed 500 subscribers to this channel, and I am so grateful for each one of you. I'm very touched that you decided that you wanted to follow me and subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. I had no idea when I started this channel what would happen. I think I told you in the beginning that I'm no video editor, and I was never aspiring to be one of those folks that had very high state-of-the-art visuals and incorporating all kinds of clips and things. And I learned a little bit here and there, but my videos are pretty basic, so I definitely appreciate that you all take the time in watching these videos and commenting. Especially, I love your comments. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And then T is for time. I'm grateful that while I have a chronic illness, it's not a chronic illness that's going to shorten my life to any appreciable degree. I have plenty of time to do the things that I think are important to me, to keep in touch with the people I love, and just be sure that I live life to the fullest that I can. Time is such a gift, just like life, and I am very grateful. And then U is understanding. When you have multiple sclerosis, we've talked about this on the channel a lot, you don't always feel understood. You feel like people may try to be sympathetic and they may sort of believe what you tell them, but they don't see it. It's hard for them to really understand. So I've been very surprised and touched that there are many people in my life who have taken the trouble and the time to understand what it must be like for me to live with multiple sclerosis. And that is a huge gift, and I really, really appreciate it. V is for variety. Okay, your day could be the same every day, right? And there's a tendency for us to kind of even want that. Routine is nice, predictability is nice, and no surprises. But, living life like that, it's really kind of boring. So I do appreciate the variety that's in my life. I have a number of friends in different places. My family lives across the country. We go to church. We're involved in different activities. We've had pets from time to time. There are ways that my life has variety. And even though a lot of times I'm maybe not as appreciative of that as I should be, I do want to take the time right now to say I am very appreciative of the variety that's still in my life. And then walking for W, I am so grateful that I can still walk. No, I can't walk like I used to. I certainly can't walk the distances that I used to. I don't have much confidence that I'll keep my balance or get from point A to point B without bumping into something, but I can still walk, and I'm so grateful for that. I never want to take that for granted. And then X, okay, well, here's your vocabulary word for the day. Xenodiki, I think is how you would pronounce it. And what it means is the hospitality of strangers. I remember a long time ago hearing that term, the kindness of strangers, and really understanding that and having that sort of resonate for me, because I have found in my life that people who have no reason at all to want to reach out and help or to just be there or to be friends or whatever, they often are. People are very wonderful, even people who don't know me at all. I've appreciated so much the opportunity that I've had to experience the welcome, the hospitality, the kindness of strangers. And then why would have to be YouTube, because here we are, right? maybe that's enough said. But I also watch a lot of YouTube content, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about MS. I've learned a lot about nutrition. I've learned a lot about all kinds of topics relevant to this channel and just relevant to my life. And I've appreciated that very, very much. And then finally, Z. Okay, zippers. Honestly, zippers are a lot more manageable for me these days than buttons are. And while they might not be the most manageable, I have to admit, sometimes my husband has to help me get the two halves on the bottom to mate up together so I can zip it the rest of the way. Zippers are a lot more manageable for me with my fumbly, half-numb fingers than buttons have been. And so I do appreciate zippers. It's kind of an anticlimax to end on that, but that's the last letter of the alphabet, so that's just how it's going to work out. But I don't know. Is this the kind of thing that you could imagine yourself putting together, A through Z, and just sitting down thinking about all the things you're grateful for? What things did I say that you would also agree are things you're grateful for? What kinds of things did I say that you don't see as making your list? What things did you think of that I didn't have on my list? Because quite frankly, I bet I could make a different list if I did this a week ago or 2 weeks from now. Because being grateful, it's a living thing. And on any given moment, we might find something to be grateful for that we'd sort of taken for granted or forgotten about totally. I hope that this little diversion has been enjoyable for you and maybe got you thinking. I just want to wish you a very, very happy Thanksgiving, even if you're in a country that doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving or celebrates it on a different day. I still want to wish you gratitude, learning to be grateful for the things that make us happy, that make us glad to be alive. And in the meantime, till I get back to my regular video schedule, again, I ask that you take really good care of yourself, and I will see you again in my next video.